Hi, and good evening to THFC Till I Die. And Elly will be joining us once she's come back. The ghost has reappeared. Oh, here she is. She's back now. There you go, Elly. You're back. Anyway, good evening and welcome to THFC Till I Die, the pre-match build-up to West Ham versus Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow at the London Stadium. And joining us tonight, well, this man is the guitar man of Tottenham Hotspur community. He's like our Chuck Berry. He probably could do Johnny B. Good on the guitar. It's the one and only Brad Matthews. Brad, welcome back. It's been so long and great to have you back, sir.
Thank you, Dermot. Thank you for those really, really kind and probably slightly exaggerated words of my guitar playing ability. Yes, it's good to be back. Hello, Elly. Good to see you again. And
good to see you as well, Brad.
Yeah, it's. I feel I should get my guitar out now, but no, I won't be doing that.
We're not. A bit of Chaz and Dave, a bit. Elly, you be on the guitar. Elly be singing "Spurs Are Marching Home." I'll be on Phillip's on the drums tonight in Dublin. So we've got the startings of the new Beatles here. I don't know.
Chaz and Dave's probably more piano, but I do have a keyboard as well. But I haven't played it for years. So
a man.
I'm more Bee Gees. I'm more Bee Gees than Beatles.
Oh, really?
That's for the late night show, Elly. How they got their high voices, but we'll park that for a minute. But
yeah, do you know what I mean?
How are you this evening, hon? And
I'm very well, thank you.
You ready for West Ham?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to slating the spammers and telling them they're a load of rubbish.
I'm just hoping if Brad goes there tomorrow, if he is going, to nick all their jelly deals and just run across the water, get back to North London and just chuck them somewhere.
Well, you certainly wouldn't be able to drop on the pitch at their ground, would you? You wouldn't be able to get to it. It's too far away. You need a bus.
I tell you one thing, Brad. I worked there in the Olympic Park for about 4 years when they were doing the Olympics, and I had to walk around the stadium before they opened it. How can anyone watch football there?
Well, this is it.
I know, it's miles away.
Yes, it's built for the Olympics, and it's a good Olympic stadium. You know what is Olympics? Mostly track and field, and that's why you've got track and field there. You know, so it's I've only been there once last season, and it's a really, really weird ground. I think they've changed it this season, but I was in the upper tier, and then you've got this big open space, and then you've got the lower tier. They've got Spurs fans in the lower tier and the upper tier, but there's this big space in between them. It's really, really weird.
But anyway, before we get in, we've got a bit of housekeeping to do. Spurs, the under-21 teams tonight lost 4-3 on penalties, so they're out of the EFL Trophy Cup, which is really disappointing. They lost 4-3 against Wickham after a 0-0 draw. I will go through some of the scores tonight. Palace are 1-0 up against Brentford. Fulham are 2-1 up against Brighton. Everton are 1-0 up against Leeds. And Chelsea are losing at Southampton. So fingers crossed that stays. Big up to our Patreon members. Of course, the Godfather, Phillip Brady, Isant, the Statsland, Queen Elly Holberg, and Leo from Mile High Hotspur, our sister channel from all the way in Denver, Colorado. Big up to them. Please, everyone. They're on tonight, 12:30, but we'll give them a big pump up before the end of the show. But if you do want to become a Patreon member, the link is in the chat. All you got to do is press on that link, and there's 3 different levels you can join. Or if you just want to donate to the channel, there's the PayPal link as well. It does help. I know it says TTG, but I'm in the process of changing the PayPal to our new channel name. But it does help, so we can buy better equipment and get better people on, and hopefully we can get a triangle tambourine for me to be in this band. Brad is now getting together. We'll say a quick.
I'll be on maracas.
Yeah, a bit like Wham, wouldn't it, back in the day? Wake me up before you go.
Well, I'm Greek like George Michael, so I'm halfway there, aren't I?
Yeah, okay.
You're still alive. You're still alive. So
you're still alive, and you haven't fell asleep at the wheel driving, Elly. So we keep it there. No. Corey Boy 85. Hey, big up Corey Boy, and you're a fantastic
all right, Corey Boy.
Really enjoyed your company, and we might get you on for the watch along or the post match show doing for Fulham. for West Ham on Thursday.
I think the watch along would be good for Corey.
Yeah.
Because he's a very fanatical fan.
Mr. EE, he says, at THFC till I die. Hi, Dermot and guys. Hi, Mr. EE. Big up. Thank you for joining. Corey Boy says, good night, all. All right, good night.
He's going to bed. He's had enough.
Yeah. He's saying to Hey Brad, Corey Boy, he's back again. Hope I would like a twit the other night. No, you were fine. You were absolutely
You're right,
fine.
Corey.
And Corey says
worries.
that's why they give everyone binoculars on the way in. Yeah, that is so very true.
Yeah, the stronger ones.
I just want a bit of to just go through details tomorrow night for the West Ham Spurs game. It's at the London Stadium, and it's a 9:45 kickoff in the UK, a 14:45 kickoff in America in Eastern summertime. And then these are the streaming service you can watch it on. In America, you can watch it on Peacock. Eastern summertime, 14:45. And then where is it in Canada? And then if you live in Canada, it's on Fubo TV, broadcasting time, Eastern summertime, 14:45, Mountain time, which is Antomin's Day,
Mountain
which
time.
Existed.
Wow.
Mountain summertime. It's 1:45.
That's a hiking time.
To be fair.
Nor did I.
And then if you're in the UK, you can watch it on BT Sport 2 streaming services on BT Sport. Their program starts at 7:15. And then, of course, you can always watch a match of the day later, or you can stream it on the BT Sport Football YouTube channel.
And if you're going to the pub like myself to watch it, BT Sports have got 4 games on tomorrow live. So you might want to check with your pub to make sure they're showing it. Although the amount of screens these days, they probably have it on one of the screens. So
I think we might have a bit of breaking news from Carl Simpson. I don't know if you can check that out for us, Brad. I'll bring it up first, actually. Apparently, Winks has officially gone.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's
Sampdoria.
Yeah.
Yes, our prayers have been answered.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I wish him luck, though. I do wish him luck. He's one of our own, isn't he?
He is.
Spurs official, 16 minutes ago, Harry Winks has joined Sampdoria on loan for the 2022-23 season. Wishing you all the best, Harry.
Yeah.
So, no obligation to buy.
No, well, we weren't really expecting, were we, Brad? But I think Sean made a good point tonight. He's on the Irish Hotspur that Europe hasn't got money to spend, have they? That Europe's broke. So, but that's something we will get into in a minute. Lisa, good afternoon, Dermot, Elly, and Brad. Good
afternoon, Lisa.
And Carl Simpson.
Nice to see you, Carl.
I'm trying to get my football scores back.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Corey Boy 85 goes, if you're live on the moon, you would still have a better view of that pitch than it was in the London. Yeah, we can't say that word because
true.
So Carl Simpson says Winks gone, potentially Dan James in. You can't make it up. Well, that's something we are going to go into in a minute. And I'd love to get the Elly and Brad's views on that. I've got my own view on it as well.
Yeah, I'll put that out on Twitter today.
Big up Andrew Gregory. I've heard of the Wild Mountain sign.
Andrew.
Big up Andrew. And then Corey Boy saying, it's just a loan. It'll be next season's problem to try sell them like the rest we've sent out loan, apart from non-burgers. Well, I'm half expecting him to come back, actually.
Don Paratici's going to earn his money next year, isn't he? They're all on temporary hold, aren't they?
Right, we'll get into a bit of news. Christian Romero has officially signed a new 5-year contract valid until June 2027 as the loan move was made permanent. Atlanta will receive €50 million total fee. I'll start with you, Brad. Are you happy with that bit of news? Is that the best news all day?
Yeah, the funny thing was, I was thinking about that this morning. I think, hang on a minute, we haven't actually officially signed him yet. He's still on loan. And my understanding was that the year was up at the start of June. So I'm thinking it's a bit odd. But no, that's really, really good to hear, to see that. Now, the interesting thing from this will be where the €50 million is coming from. Is it in the 150 that we supposedly have? Or is it something they put by last season and budgeted for. So obviously, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I doubt if anyone in the chat knows that either. So
No.
so that's the interesting question. All I will say is that I think we have money to spend. Even if we have used 50 million of that, we've still got a little bit of money there. But I would imagine that 50 million is already written into their last year's budget.
I agree with you. And Elly, are you delighted? I mean, I'm over the moon. That's got over the line.
I'm over the moon double. I'll go around it twice if you want. Do you know, because he's such a fantastic player and he wins so many balls and he controls the defence, very calm on the ball, can pass the ball. You know, you can't get a better defender than him. And he gets away with a lot. He doesn't get sent off, which is fantastic. He just does enough not to get sent off.
His timing is immaculate, isn't it? His timing is incredible.
He's like a leech, you know, when he sees the ball and then he knows there's a threat, he's on it, you know, which I love.
Carl Simpson said no. Apparently, the money was out of last window, not out of the money.
Yeah, I'd imagine that would be. I would imagine that.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Yeah.
And Curry Boy says we're not getting anyone. It's all a smokescreen. For me, Levy and his chums to pull the wool over our eyes. I love Romero. What a player! Look, Corey. Look, I was very much on the thing of Levy out last year. Under Nuno, but as I was saying back screen, me and Brad Elly, we've seen a lot worse over the years. Look,
yeah, we have.
They have back Conte in every which way, even though we haven't spent the whole 100 million, we have back Conte. Now, for me, I think it's been a good window, but we need to get a centre back. So look, let's give it to 11:05 on the 1st of September. Then let's all make our minds up. But up to then, the Don will be cooking. As the Godfather says, he's still putting the ingredients into the cake. It's about to go into the oven, and we'll get a nice juicy cake on the 1st of September when it comes out.
Do you know what? I'd like to add to that quickly, Dermot. I think because Conte said one in, one out, one out, one in, I think that means that he's negotiated with the clubs. So they've got all the ones that they needed to get out, and now they've got a little pot. They're going to have a lot of savings on wages. So, you know, even if it's 50-50, we have to pay. That's 50% more we've saved. So I'm thinking that they are going to bring few more players in, you know, to appease Conte, because he did say that. And I feel that he's going to put pressure on that board to give him the money so that he can go and get that quality centre back. Because there's still quality centre backs out there. I don't care what anybody says. There is.
Are there any centre backs out there that we can, the really, really good ones that we can afford? I mean, the 100 million that Chelsea is supposed to be playing for Guardiola, whatever his name is, I mean, that's out of our league. We can't stump up that sort of money, no matter what everyone seems to think.
It depends. It depends if the board want to put their own money in it. Traditionally, they don't.
No.
You know, because they did say that there's this pot of money. So we have saved a lot, though, on wages, Brad. So maybe they can put that into it. Maybe not 100 million, maybe 60, 70 million would be more realistic. Because you have to pay roughly that.
Yeah, and we can still draw that other 50 million when we need to. I think, from my understanding, for what Sean explained it to me, was we can claim that to the end of the year now. I don't know.
Yes, it's 3 years.
Is that the end of the tax year?
You
or
see?
Is that the end of the whole year?
It was back in May when it first came out, wasn't it? So if it's a year from May, then we've got until we can use it in the January window. I can't imagine them doing it and saying, "Oh, sorry guys, you can't use it in January." I can't imagine it doing that. So that's why I think that until someone absolutely amazing is suddenly available, that's why we're just holding off on spending loads of money at the moment. That we don't want to be in a situation where we spend 50, 60 million on 2 or 3 reasonable but basically average players, and then suddenly in January this player becomes available. Like Bastoni says, "Well, actually, no, I want to leave Inter now," and it's, "Oh shit, we ain't got any money. Sorry." So I think that's what they're doing.
I agree with you. I think this Bastoni thing will happen. I think it will happen next summer. But if he doesn't want to come, if he doesn't want to leave Inter Milan, what's the point of pursuing somebody who doesn't want to come this season?
Well, this is it. Everyone on Twitter and social media saying, "Oh, why aren't we buying this player? Why aren't we buying that player? Why aren't we?" Well, maybe those players don't want to come to us. Maybe those players are happy where they are. Maybe those players are at such an amazing price that we can't afford it.
Exactly.
I make the comparison. Like I would really, really like to have a proper Gibson Les Paul guitar. I can't afford one. I can get a Gibson Les Paul copy, which is a really good guitar and does the job, but I can't afford to get a proper Gibson Les Paul copy. And this is the situation with us. We can't afford £100 million for a player. It's just ridiculous. If you got 200-300 million in your pot, well then you do that. But when you've got 150 million, why would we spend 100 million on a player? Especially that guy at Leipzig. He's only 19. Yeah, sure he's going to be a good player, but no, it's too. No, I don't think
Brad, it comes back to whether the board and the owners want to dip into their own money. That's it.
Yeah.
Without that, we can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, if someone like I'm using Skriniar as an example. My knowledge of European players isn't that good, but Skriniar, as I understand, is a really, really decent defender who would make a huge difference to Tottenham defence. If he suddenly becomes available for 60-70 million, then they might spend that money. Let's face it, we spent 60 million on Richarlison, didn't we? Because we wanted it. He became available. Right, we put that money out. So I don't, and I, like Dermot and like you, Elly, I've been very anti-Levy over the years, but they seem to be making an effort, and Conte seems to be reasonably happy at the moment. So
that's the main thing, Brad. Conte's happy. If Conte's happy, I'm happy.
Yes, exactly. And it's we've more or less got cover in most in every position. Maybe centre back and maybe another attacking player, but we could probably put out a second 11 that would be a reasonable team. You take out Højbjerg and Benchcore, put in Skip and Basuma. That's pretty good.
It doesn't go down too much in quality, does it?
No, exactly.
I've been rewatching the All or Nothing, and I'm at the episode now when Skippy got promoted from the youth team into the first team by Mourinho with Tatanga as well. And you look at Tatanga, I mean, that man has, bless him, he's been plagued by injuries. But you look at Skippy, how Skippy has progressed. So you don't have to spend money if you've got good kids in the academy, like a Harvey White. We need to bring, not Harvey, what's his name? Alfie.
Alfie
Divine.
We need to bring him up into the first team, I think, as well. But we all got another bit of news today. Reguilon has signed a contract after a medical completed in Madrid and can be finally considered as a new Atletico Madrid player. Atletico will cover Sergio's salary and the loans until, I think, the end of the season. And here's a picture of Reggie in his
Atletico Madrid.
In his new little kit. He looks happy, bless him. And I wish him all the best.
He does.
Yeah.
In Spain, where that's his city, isn't it? So he looks happy.
I don't know if you've seen this as well. Tottenham are preparing a striker deal for Carrasco.
Yannick Carrasco.
What do you know of him, Brad? Do you know much of him?
All I know is what I've been reading, that he's 29, and I believe he can play on the right or the left as either an attacking wing back or as a more forward player. The impression I get on Twitter, and I get a lot of my info on Twitter, is that people seem to think that'll be a good signing. So, depending on what he costs, and I think there might be a buyout clause, that might be a decent sign. The only thing I will say is that I think people say that a right wing back is we haven't really strengthened it or got a decent player in. I still think that over the season and seasons to come, Jed Spence will be that player as the attacking right wing back.
Yeah.
So people have got to be patient. We're not going to win the league this year. Sorry, Dermot, I know we will, but I don't think
I've just got this feeling we are, Brad. The double for me is on. We are.
Listen, it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. But I would say
it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
we'll have to be on our game.
Yeah, I would certainly say that we can finish third. We can win a trophy, and next season, I will be wanting to put in a title push next season. I'm not saying we're not doing it this season, but certainly next season, because you tend to find in football that teams are on the up, they come on the way down, and you just got to make sure that you're on the way up when the others are coming down. And that's really what happened when we came second to Chelsea. You know, that season, the teams like Man City were on the way down. Liverpool were struggling. We just, unfortunately, that season got beaten by a better team. Chelsea were a better team than us. And then the season with Leicester, we just got beaten by a miracle, really.
Yeah.
You know, that will never happen probably in our lifetime, you know, so...
But what an opportunity, though, Brad. We should have won it that year.
It was. But the thing was, we kept on.
We finished third in the 2-horse race.
Yeah. And they never did, you know. And you know, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, second or third, it is. You know, we weren't nowhere near top. You know, it's only because Arsenal finished second that we felt that really badly. And
I don't know how that happened.
But look, I don't begrudge Leicester their title. I don't begrudge them because I think Leicester. I mean, it was a great fairy tale story that year. Seen Leicester do it, so
they had a decent team, but they won a lot of games with the odd goal, you know, and it's, you know, I kept expecting them to they're going to slip up, and they never did.
Remember Hoof scored at our ground, didn't he, to make it 1-0?
How we lost that game, I never know.
I know, we battered them.
I think that's where we lost the league, when we lost to them at our ground. I think that's where
that was certainly a 6-pointer.
We let it slip.
And I think Michael, from memory, had a great game. And he was a top keeper.
Yeah.
He really was. Got some results coming in. I think Leeds drew with Everton. I think that is the result. Fulham have beaten Brighton.
I think they're still playing.
Fulham have beaten Brighton. Bloody hell.
Fulham have beaten Brighton,
Fulham are really good this season. They look really good. They were unlucky against Arsenal as well.
And Palace have drawn 1-1 at home against Brentford. So we will give you the results as they start creeping through.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you updated.
Still going. Chelsea's still losing with 6 minutes to go. So
please, Chelsea.
I'll tell you what, though.
That Carrasco deal, there was a guy on Last Word on Spurs last.
Elly?
He's frozen.
Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah. His name's Paul Gilmore. He's from Sky Sports, and he said it's very unlikely that Spurs are going to get Carrasco because of the release clause. It's too much money.
It's like 50 odd million or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a few here. A few starred here from Carl Simpson. All three of them are really good points. This one, it says, I will still hold my judgment until the window's gone, but I'm telling you now, if you give me a choice of James or Traore, it would be Adama Traore every time. Quickly, guys, James or Traore? Go with you, Brad.
Only on the fact that, well, they're both, I suppose you could both call them rejects, but James came to Manchester United from Swansea, didn't he? And they didn't want him. He's got the Leeds. And if Leeds don't want him, you do wonder. I'll put another thing on that. I know this won't happen because I think he's about to go on loan as well. I prefer Brian Hill too. Yeah, I really would.
Yeah, but he's gone to Valencia, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't gone yet. But he hasn't gone yet, Elly.
He hasn't gone yet. That's
Conte wants another player in before he'll let him go. And he's injured at the moment as well.
Oh, right, So he's on hold. He's on hold till we get another player in. So I would go for Adama.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go for James because Adama is exciting to watch as well. All right, Conte will train him. He will get him up to speed. That's one thing Conte does. He turns like players that are not quite doing it, and he gets them to do it. Yeah. And he'll link up well with Kulu.
Yeah, he will. That's very true. We've got Divine from Inter is definitely an option, and the Ukrainian centre back.
Oh, I'd love him.
Yeah. Fingers
Experience.
Yeah. And then he also put here the last comment he made. Bastoni will go to a bigger club. I'm afraid we don't battle at that level, and the other teams, the money isn't there. I mean, money's tight everywhere, but we could be playing them up for next summer. So look, we'll see what happens. There's another bit. Sorry, go on, Brad. Sorry.
This big club thing. I understand what Carl's saying, that your Man Cities and unfortunately your Man Uniteds, they have got, and your Barcelonas have got a big draw. But we have got a lot of things that put us in a strong position to buy players. Champions League football, one of the best managers in the world, one of the greatest stadiums in the world, one of the greatest training facilities in the world. And a lot of players want to play in the Premier League as well. So we have got things going for us, but I do get Carl's point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carl agrees with you. He hit Gill at the point. Corey Boy said, I rather would ask Aaron Lennon to come back than have a look. For me, I think I agree with Brad. I think I agree with Ellie. I think we all agreed. He is a right wing back. It's something we sorely need. Can you imagine him running down the line? The other defenders would be scared shit of him. They got like Mr. T running that. You think, right, I'm getting out of the way here, and he can cross a ball. Let's be fair. Emerson can't cross a ball, bless him. As much as Emerson has improved me, and I think Doherty will be used as if we need him. But
he'll play in the League Cup.
Yeah, he will. So, and we've got this last bit of news. Spurs are eyeing a late double swoop before the deadline day. So that's a little bit of news. So look, we will get somebody in. I'm sure we will. If it's 5 to 11, you'll hear it here first because we're on live from 4:30 on deadline day.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be Spurs if we didn't get them on deadline day, would it?
We're going to do it in the last minute, in the last second.
Yeah.
You'll see leave his bald head coming out of the training ground.
He'll do what Harry Redknapp used to do, wind down the window.
Nothing against bald men, obviously.
Well, Antonio, did you get anyone? Just going for a bag of chips. Be back in a minute. Right, we're doing this every pre-match game. We're doing Tottenham history down the years, whoever we're playing. And the first game we played with them was actually the 3rd of September, 1898. They were in the Thomas and Med League. It was home. West Ham were actually called Thames Ironworks back in them days. We beat them 3-0. McKay, Cameron and Bradshaw scored for us. Here's a question for you two.
Yeah.
Which other game did Cameron score in that won us something major?
I know this.
I'd say the FA Cup in 1901. Just looking at the date.
That's right.
I think wasn't he, Brad and Ellie? Was he he was a director?
He was our manager, wasn't he?
Was, yeah.
Later. Yeah.
When did we have a player called Jimmy Dimmock? Was that 1921?
That was 21.
Jimmy Dimmock, yeah. He looks like my dad, Jimmy Dimmock.
Can I just say, there is
a great name for a footballer, isn't it? Jimmy Dimmock's a great name.
It is, Jimmy Dimmock.
Just a bit of breaking news. This is like from our era. Mikhail Gorbachev's just died.
Oh, okay.
Oh, blimey.
Now, if somebody doesn't know who
Mikhail Gorbachev
is, he was the former president of Russia when Russia was the USSR.
He's the one with the birthmark on his head.
He actually did try and bring Russia into the modern world, which a certain person is actually trying to take him out of the modern world at the moment. But
him and Ronald Reagan, they must have had some great crack then too. They couldn't even speak the same language, but that's just a bit of news that's broken. So we'll get back to our more important thing. Tottenham, we first played them on the 27th of October in the Southern League at home. We drew 0-0 against them, and then they were called West Ham United. Competitively in the modern era, we've played them 160 times. We've won 69, drawn 38, lost 53. We've scored 263 goals and conceded 218. And then in the Premier League, we've played in 52, won 25, drawn 10, lost 17, 76 goals scored, 62 against. So that's all your little.
I thought it was much bigger than that. That we weren't beaten more times.
Well, I did double check.
Because I always thought we always used to beat. I don't doubt it.
We went through a phase. Yeah, we went through a phase, Ellie. We couldn't beat West Ham for some reason.
Yeah.
So I've got a few questions tonight, and I'll start with you, Ellie. How do we beat West Ham?
Right, we beat West Ham by staying compact at the back, don't take any risks, and making sure that Souček we don't give away free kicks or corners hardly, because Souček is a big 6'5", I think he is, or 6'4". So we don't want to give any set pieces away, because you know what we're like at set pieces. And we play. I don't want to see this breaking on the break football. I want us to play through the middle, play our football, get the ball to the wings, get the ball to Kulu and Perisic, and they'll do the damage. Yeah, they'll get it to Sonny or Kane.
Yeah, a question on that, Elly, and then I'll do Brad, then I'll go back to Elly. Brad, do you think what Elly's saying, she wants to see us playing, out from the back? Do you think with Romero back in the team, hopefully for tomorrow's game, we might be able to do that? Because with Sanchez and Dyer, we can't do that.
Yeah, I think we'll be better placed to do that with Romero, because Romero's certainly a better ball player. I still have kittens when we play out from the back, when he's going backwards and forwards to Lloris. And I always think when they pass it back to Lloris, do they know he's left-footed? Do they know he's left-footed?
I know. Panic stations.
Yeah, I think we will. I think the way we seem to be playing these days, I would love them to come out of the blocks and just go at West Ham.
Yeah, Southampton beat Chelsea.
But, nice one. Nice one.
Come on.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will. But I think we have to remain, as Elly said, compact, but we have to remain composed as well. And that's what I think Conte's getting this team. Even in the big games, even when we played Arsenal, at the end of the Arsenal game, it's like, well, that was almost like a routine win. We actually we're far more, I don't know if professional is the right word, but we seem to want to be patient and just play our football. The breaks will come. Don't panic. When we go 1-0 down, we don't panic. And I think if we can nullify West Ham like we did Nottingham Forest for the first 10, 15 minutes, because the crowd will be, if they can hear the crowd will be, behind them. And then we can. And then I think with West Ham, if you do get the goal up, that will get their crowd on them and that sort of thing. And just keep our nerve and just play our football. And at the end of the day, your top players will come out on top if you do that. If you just compete and play your game, your skillful players, your Kanes, and I presume your Son, if he plays tomorrow, will come out on top. And also try and keep someone like Antonio quiet, because he always seems to do well against us. So he seems to score against us, even if you might not see him and he'll still score. So keep him out of the game. Be very really, really careful on free kicks. So don't give any stupid ones away. I'm sure that professional footballers in the main are just very dim. I really am. I can't remember if it was on the Forest game. But the ball was going towards him, and all they had to do was the ball was going to go out. And he just scythed him down and gave a free kick away. So what are you doing? It's not rocket science,
He did the Serge Aurier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I used to call it. When a player does anything stupid, you've done a Serge Aurier. I've got £20, guys, on Tuchel to get the sack. So
I'm hoping. I'll tell you what.
I win a lot of money.
I was on a stream a few weeks back. I forget whose it was, and I think I made that point that everyone's going on about. Well, obviously Scott Parker's was sacked, but I said, I think even though it's a new regime, I think that's not a bad bet. What odds did you get on £20?
It's 16 to 1. 16 to 1. So it's not a bad bet. I was going to put 50 quid when I thought, because they're signing good players. But they've got the pot, haven't they?
Breaking news, Elly. Breaking news, Elly. Chelsea have just sacked their manager. No, they haven't.
You make me laugh, Dermot, man.
Carl Simpson, I love this. This is the comment of the night so far. It says, some tool on Twitter messaged me, say we're going to smash you and Paqueta will score. I replied and said, cheers, mate. Is that from his sofa as he has no work permit?
I mean, Brighton signed, Everton signed Malpace from Brighton, who's got no work permit issues, and he couldn't play tonight for the simple reason that you have to when you're playing by midday on the working day, the last working day before the game. And of course, yesterday was a public holiday, so they had to sign in by 12 o'clock Friday. They thought, 12 o'clock Monday. No, it's a public holiday. It's not the last working day. So no, this guy ain't going to play against.
I think Corey Boy's giving Carl Simpson a run for his money when he's put Tim nice but thin. That is funny.
Elly, I mean, look, we don't have really a great record where it used to be Upton Park and now London Stadium. What was your favourite West Ham Spurs game? For me, it was the one where Gareth Bale scored in the last minute when AVB was in charge. What was your favourite West Ham Tottenham game?
I think when Paul Staltieri scored and we made it 4-3.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic game. But the one you said was fantastic as well. But I have to go for the Paul Staltieri just because it was Paul Staltieri that got our winner, and I don't think he'd ever scored for us.
No, I don't think he ever did. I think so. Yeah, that was good.
It was magic that game.
It
was a really good game as well. I think Tevez played that day, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, Like when Tevez scored from a freaking, he's jumping in the crowd. And
That's right.
And
I
always forget his name. That Finnish player we had scored. Midfielder. Very underrated player, I felt.
Oh, I know.
Is it Timeo?
That's the one.
Timu Timeo.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
He scored,
I could never pronounce his name.
Yeah, I think Defoe got a penalty. And Berbatov got a goal from a free kick, didn't he? I think because they went 3. We got back to 2, and they went 3-2 up.
Yes, William Kelly.
And then we got that. Yeah, then we got that free kick, and Berbatov scored, and then we got the goal right at the end. Yeah. Hi, William.
How you doing, man?
He doesn't look like Don Johnson today now without the sunglasses.
Hold on, I'll get them.
I have to say that I've only seen Spurs win at Upton Park once when I've gone to a game. That was December 1988. I went with a friend.
God, do you even remember the month?
Yeah, I was living in Australia at the time. I was over on a holiday. I went with a friend who was a Liverpool fan, another friend who was a West Ham fan, and we got tickets. I actually went to Upton Park, got 3 tickets for the home end. Right, I think it's on the side. And I didn't know any better. And I got in there, and I stood up. And then Spurs came on, and everyone around going, "Fuck off, you Spurs!" But I'm going, "Oh, great!" we took the lead, didn't we? We took the lead before half time.
That's when you zip it.
Yeah, well done. But then we got the second goal, and I must admit, we got the second. Sort of thing. And then, to be fair, one lad about it down. He was a Spurs fan. Go on, get in there. And no one said anything to him, but we got on. We got a tube, and of course, because I've got a London accent, obviously, no one knows that I'm Spurs sort of thing. But we got on the train afterwards, sort of thing, and went home. But I'm trying not to laugh because we won 2-0. All the West Ham made and sort of thing.
Welcome, Mr. Kelly. Yeah. How are you this evening? And how's sunny
I'm
Australia?
good. I can only come on for a few minutes, Dermot.
Okay.
You're grand man.
I've got a tour to do.
You're in your car.
Yeah, I'm parked up though. I'm parked up, Brad. I'm safe.
We're not going to get the Aussie police.
Not going to get a ticket.
No children were harmed in the making of this video.
Just a quick thing as well. West Ham last 5 games, they've won 3 and lost 2. We're unbeaten in our last 9 from the end of last season. William, I'm not going to touch the transfer window with you because that will end up in you going in a 3-hour rant. So I'm going to keep you calm for your day so you don't have a heart.
I did want to say something about Gvardiol. I'm very pissed off with that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, this is a channel where you have your opinion, so it's over to you. Let me make you bigger. Actually, hang on. Let's make William bigger.
You don't have to, Dermot. You don't have to. But no, I just wanted to say that it's just
you've made yourself bigger.
Yeah, I've made you bigger now.
That's it.
The floor is yours.
Tom Johnson.
Right. Well, where do I start? We were sold a narrative.
Where do I begin to tell the story?
We were sold a narrative again and again with Ainick and Levy. We're sold a narrative, and lo and behold, Chelsea come in with a big bid, and they get one of the central defenders that we apparently couldn't prize away from that club.
Yeah, but William, as I said earlier, there's no way in the world that we can afford £100 million. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry, Brad. I don't accept that anymore. I really don't. And I'll tell you why I don't accept that. Because in the case of Todd Bowley, he wanted to buy Tottenham. If ENIC don't want to invest in Tottenham, then sell the club to someone that will. You know what I mean?
Well,
don't hang on to it.
Yeah, that's another conversation, isn't it? I mean,
I know, but it's 20 years, one trophy. You know, it really starting to get on the nerves now.
I totally agree with you, but
it's getting on my tits.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm just saying, whilst we're run by an investment company, we're not going to be paying £100 million for players. The Chelsea are run by someone who's got billions and billions of money that's taken them over as an owner. You know, it's like if I was a billionaire and I took over Tottenham, I'd be spending £100 million myself.
I get that argument, but they've had long enough at this club now to milk this club.
Oh, look,
you know what I mean?
I'm not saying I disagree with the way that they run. I'm not saying I agree with the way the club's been run over the last 22 years. I'm just saying in this particular instance, we ain't going to be paying £100 million for a player.
The thing is,
but it's okay. We'll get Dan James. We're all good.
I mean,
I was listening to Mari. I was listening to Mari, and he knows a lot about the Tavistock Group, who make billions of pound profits, right? But they're not investing those profits back into our club. So they're really keeping the money for themselves.
Of course they are.
Which is not right. Whereas other owners are spending their own money.
Right, can I actually
like Newcastle owners are.
Yeah, can I make a point here on this? Right. We've got the Glazers at United that are not, I don't know, they're running Man United.
They're ripping Man United off, aren't they?
Okay. You look at Newcastle being taken over by a rich oil man from Saudi Arabia, which for me, it should never have gone through.
Which kills journalists,
Yeah, because of the human rights in Saudi Arabia. As much as I don't agree with the board, William, and I do agree with half what you say, don't get me wrong, I think you're right in what you're saying. If we have people like the Glazers in charge that didn't give a shit, Man United have spent, I heard tonight, €1 billion, and what have they won? Do you know? Okay, they've won bits and pieces.
But the thing is, you've got to look at. Forget about Man United. Everybody pushes on to this Man United thing. Okay, Man United have been in decline ever since Ferguson left. All right, so that was bound to happen with Man United. You have a certain period of time where you have that success, and then you regress. They're in their regression. Doesn't matter who's in there, it ain't going to change the fact that they're in regression. Okay? So you look at someone like Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. All have spent properly and all have won trophies.
Yeah.
Okay?
85% of them as well.
Yes.
That's the thing. They've been backed by these billionaires who use the money as a plaything. You know, our billionaire don't put any money into the club.
Yeah, but Brad,
but the guy who owns our club, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire.
He's worth £4.3
you know what I mean?
billion pounds.
Yeah, but he's not putting it.
He doesn't invest in the club. It's well known fact.
Listen,
I'm not supporting Levy. Look, what really annoys me about the way that the club's been run is the fact that when a player is, they want 65 million, we only offer 60 million, and then he goes to someone else. That's when I'm really pissed off. So that's where I do when that happened with Bruno Fernandes. But when it comes to 100 million, I think no, we're not going to be paying that side. If he'd have been available for say 70, I'd have been disappointed. But 100 million.
It doesn't matter, Brad. Even if he was there for 70 million or 60 million, we're not getting him. This is the thing. Yeah. And the only problem, the only issue I have with everything, okay, this is the only issue I have with, is I can envisage the next 5 years where this club is going to end up if they take that path again. And what you're going to have is you're going to have Newcastle overtaking you, because they will. Mark my words, Newcastle will win trophies. Because they'll spend the money, they'll get the players in, and when that manager gets them to a certain point, they'll get rid of him and they'll bring in a world-class manager.
Elly,
you know what I mean?
Trying to say something. Yeah, I'm just trying. Elly,
I was just saying, like, we have got a billionaire owner, and we've got riches we've got many riches.
We're not
Spurs.
poor. We're not poor.
We're not poor. So we should be going in for these players. Put our money where our mouth is. Because you know what? I haven't seen us win a trophy. It's 14 seasons, isn't it?
No,
but one trophy in 22 years. It's not good enough.
I mean,
I'm sick of being the laughing stock. That's what I am.
Can I ask you a question, William? And this is genuine. Everything you've said here has been brilliant. It's been bang on the money, and it's been spot on. Do you know, if you look back how we were under, I've been rewatching the All or Nothing documentary.
I'm back. I left. I don't know what happened there. I'm just saying. I like going down to Tottenham High Road and celebrating and seeing all our players joyful on a bus.
Well,
it's the best feeling in the world.
I still think we can do that this season.
I still do.
We don't buy any more players.
So, Brad.
But the question I'm asking you is, William, do you think, as a club or as a team, from when Mourinho was sacked until Conte took over, do you think we've improved in any way, shape, and form from last season, where we were a laughing stock of Europe? We couldn't even get a manager until now.
No, Dermot, I won't deny that we have improved. Certain areas of the field we have improved, but we still got the same shit backline.
Yeah.
And because of that, and because of not investing in proper centre backs and full backs, especially the right wing back, the problem is we're having to play this really defensive line, even against teams like Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? And it's hard to watch. It is hard to watch. Great, we're winning, but they will come unstuck. They will come unstuck if they keep doing that.
Yeah, well, the transfer window isn't over yet. What's your thoughts on West Ham? Let's move away from that because that's Thursday. And hopefully you'll come on Thursday. And we'd love to have you on Thursday.
I got to go anyway. I got to go shortly. But West Ham, look, I think if we sit back like we have already in the first couple of games, I think West Ham could cause us a lot of trouble. I really do.
Yeah, that's what I said, William.
I think you have to be very, very careful this one.
Yeah. Romero is in the team. I will get in. He is in the team for the West Ham. He's been past fit.
Nice one.
So he is, and Oliver Skip's available as well for tomorrow.
I think he'll be on the bench. I think he'll be on the bench. So.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to Basuma in there in that central midfield.
I think he should play Basuma.
Yeah.
He is Elly, because Bentancur can't play.
That's right.
Yeah, because he's had a head injury.
Yes.
Do you know what? Basuma and Højbjerg can boss that midfield. Yeah.
That's very combative.
Depending, they might overload that midfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what, William? I love you.
Rice is a good footballer. He is a good footballer.
I love your passion. I love the way
I don't want to come across as an angry person. It's not. It's just. I just want to fucking win.
You just want to be successful.
Yeah. No, we all want that. And I think this season we will.
It's the best feeling in the world.
There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it.
There's nothing like it in the world. Nothing.
William, I just got
it's
a WhatsApp
better than anything
message
in the world
from Dan James saying he loved you. So he just told me to tell you.
Well, can I just say this, Dermot? Can I just say this?
Okay. Christmas card list.
I don't understand. I don't understand the whole idea of us signing Dan James and then sending Gill out. Like, why not just keep Gill and not sign Dan James? Like, what's the point? You know,
Gill is not going out yet because we haven't got a replacement for him. So if we don't have a replacement for Gill, Gill will be staying.
No. I know that, but what I'm saying is, why go after Dan James? He's no better than what Brian Gill is. You know what I mean? You're not improving the squad.
I know.
Like, I've heard this rumor as well that we're after Carrasco. Carrasco. We're not getting Carrasco. There is no way Tottenham are paying 50 to 60 million for Carrasco to buy out his clause. No chance of it.
I can't see that happening.
No. It's Tottenham. We know the limitations of these owners. They will not pay the money. They will not do it.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that that's going to eventually piss off Conte. Because I'm sure Conte is sitting there. I'm sure Conte is sitting there going, I've still got the same back line. You know, I really, really wanted another central defender in here. What's going on? I really wanted a right wing back. What's going on? You know?
Well, as I said, we will know on the 1st of September what's going to happen. So we will know. So I'm giving it to then. But William, I love your passion.
I'll give you a prediction. Will Oracle will give you a prediction, Dermot. Fuck all will come in.
That'll be a busy. Actually,
Dermot, one will come in. Adama Traore. That's what we'll get. That's our level.
Do you know what, William? I agree with everything. We'll see. We will see. But listen, William, on the thing, thank you. And I want to personally thank you for all the support you've shown this channel from day one. You're a top bloke, and everyone, please show all your love to William, because William is one of the nicest people you'll ever wish to meet. He really is. He's a top fella, a big supporter of this channel. And I love him when he comes
beat
on
West Ham. Let's go beat West Ham, guys.
All William wants is us to win some trophies. That's all.
Just one trophies. One success. I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know? It's depressing every year.
Looking forward to West Ham. As I said, West Ham have lost 3. Have won 3 out of the last 5. Tottenham are unbeaten in the last 9, coming up to this game. Question for you while you're here. I'll start with you, William, quickly, and then Brad and you, Elly. Does Son deserve to start?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of this. He's definitely down on confidence. There's no doubt about it. I think Son is a little bit rattled by the Richarlison signing. I think it's had an effect on him. But that's down to him, though. You know what I mean? He's got to understand that you have to, if you want to win trophies and you want to progress under a manager like Conte, you have to fight for your place. You're no longer number one. You know what I mean? And if he's dealing with issues like that, I do feel for him. I feel sorry for him because he's been brilliant for us. And he will come good. You just got to give him time, you know? I think, me personally, I would probably start Richarlison. But if Richarlison's if it's not happening for him, then I'd bring Son on, you know?
Yeah.
I think Conte said in his press conference, isn't it, that Richarlison will be starting. He didn't say what game.
Yeah,
so.
He said that. I've actually got all the press conference here, so we will be going through that. He did say that, Brad. Elly,
I think he'll start Son, and then he'll start Richarlison for Fulham.
Yeah, I think you could be right there.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
Dermot, I have to pop off, Dermot. Sorry, mate.
No, you're grand. Thank you for coming on, William.
Take care, William.
Thanks, William. Thanks.
I needed my 5 minutes of fame there. Thank you.
That's okay. You know, you're famous now. The check's in the post.
I'll make you famous.
The check will bounce.
The Oracle has spoken. Everyone, the Oracle has spoken. There is the Oracle. There's Mr. William Kelly. I love him. I love his passion. Guys,
he just wants the best for our club. Yeah.
All this talk about we need to drop Son. Son needs to be rotated. Even Corey Boy says it in the chat. We need to start rotating. Rotation will happen because we're now in. Was it so many games in 20?
2 games a week.
Yeah. Elly, do you think with Son that he just needs a goal just to break him free for whatever he's in, or do you agree like with Corey Boy and some other people? We need to drop him and start with Richarlison.
No, I don't think we should drop him because he's been fantastic for us. And just because he's had 2 or 3 bad games, he doesn't warrant us to drop him. Because Sonny, he will come good. He had a spell last season especially that Man United game where he was tripping over everything and just falling on the floor like he was on ice skates. So we know he can go through a bad patch, but then he comes storming back, and he's got a point to prove now. So he's going to have fire in his belly. This is the Son that we want to see, because he's like a wounded animal, right?
Yeah.
He'll come back. If we drop him, it's going to make him even worse, because he's a very sensitive boy. You can tell, right? Because when he came off, he was taken off. You could see he was so frustrated with himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he knows he can do better, much better. All right. And he did try to score. It just didn't come off for him. I think he's trying too hard. He needs to relax and get into his game again.
His close control seems to have let him down a bit this season.
Yeah, his close control's never been really on point.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He's better when he's running through, Brad, isn't he?
Yeah, when he gets. And I guess also something that we need to look at is that tactically now they're getting on top of him. The clubs will think, right, this is a Golden Boot winner. We'll get on him, him up.
They are. They're giving him special treatment. Yeah.
I mean, Brad. I mean, look, we had this all last year with Harry Kane. Harry Kane needs to be dropped. Harry Kane needs to be this. Harry Kane needs to be that. Now it's Son this year. It's like going into a dealership, right? You've got Ferrari there and you've got a Mini there. It's like you're going for the Mini instead of the Ferrari. I mean, that's what it'd be like if you dropped Son. Son
I can only afford the Mini.
Huh?
I can only afford the Mini.
Yes, same here. I can't even afford the Mini. I can afford the remote control Mini. I mean, you don't drop your best players. I mean, what do you do? I mean, why do you think Son started off so badly this season? Is it just confidence?
Yeah, I think he's just having one of those starts of the season. You know, he ended on a high, didn't he? And you know, you just sort of find it difficult to get back to that high he was on. And he'll come good. And Elly was saying, and you know, I remember this. We had the same conversation last season, didn't we? About he's not playing well, we should be dropped. You know, and that was before we had Richarlison. You know, no one to replace him with. So I just think it's that. Now, whether he plays tomorrow, that's another matter. He will start to rotate now. I mean, he's got to. Yeah. I mean, you know, Conte's got to do that. And Richarlison basically is there to rotate with Son, to rotate with Kane. You could even argue to rotate with Gudachevsky, depending on how they want to play, what system they want to play. But I think he'll start tomorrow against West Ham. But I think I think Saturday against Fulham, I think they might see a change there. Although, let's face it, Fulham, that's coming as a difficult game now, Fulham on Saturday.
It is. You know, it's not an easy game.
They're playing really well at the moment. So it's which is good. I prefer that. I much prefer going into that game rather than, we've got to win this. This should be an easy win. I'd rather go in thinking, actually, Fulham are playing pretty well. It's like tomorrow. I'd rather go to West Ham tomorrow thinking, well, West Ham, they'll raise, like Chelsea, they'll raise their game against us. They always do. You know, so I'd rather that than go there thinking, we should win this easy. You know, I'd rather go to grounds or play teams that you know they're going to raise their game against you. Yeah. Because it makes you raise your game as well.
It does. I mean, Elly, this is the supposed starting lineup. Now, I have changed it. Richarlison was in it. I took him out, put him on the bench and put Son there because, for my opinion, I don't think you should drop Son. I think you need players go through the bad patch. Elly, you as an ex-Spurs lady will know that more than anybody. When you're in the bad patch, you would play through that. Do you think this will be the starting lineup for the match against West Ham, or would you? There's the bench. Is there anyone there that you would put in that starting lineup? Hang on, Elly, can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I would start Jed's bench, you know, because I liked when he came on. He was fantastic.
My mouth there.
You know,
what? That's not a bad shout,
5-6 minute cameo role that he had. Sorry?
That's not a bad shout, Elly.
Can you
That's
hear?
a very good shout. Yeah.
Yeah, because the boy's rearing to go. You can see it. Like he even had a shot on goal in that 5 minutes. He did more than some of the players did in the 90. And also, I could see that he's itching to be that right wing back to win that place. He wanted to come on and impress, and I like that. And I've watched a lot of Jed Spence. A lot of people who haven't watched him, you know, they're making an assumption. They're saying, "Oh, Jed Spence," and then they'll compare him to a foreign player that, you know, they think he's better. But this boy's got it. He's got it. He's got all the attributes. He can run. He's athletic. He can cross the ball. He can assist. He can score. You know, he could do a lot of things. And his stats don't show how good he is either. You know, because he's a lot better than what his stats show.
Yeah, I mean, Elly, last season for Nottingham Forest, he was one of the best players in the Championship for me. He rarely was.
Yeah, he was. I want to see him start.
Yeah, I'm delighted with Port Spence. Really am. Brad, would you make any other changes? I mean, that's starting 11 apparently, and this is a substitute bench. So what changes would you make?
I was going to, Elly took the words right out of my mouth, to quote Meatloaf. I think Spence is a good chap. Although I will say that if you look at the left-hand side, Sessegnon started the first 2 games and Perisic has started the last 2. So there's rotation going there. So you might even have a situation tomorrow where Doherty starts. Now, does he go with one attacking wing back and one defensive wing back? In which case, you know, you could probably get away with Spence on one side and have, say, Sessegnon as probably the more defensive-minded wing back. So yeah, I don't know. Has Lenglet been shown anything in training? Do they want to rest Ben Davies? He's probably played the last 30 odd games in that position, so it could be interesting tomorrow. I think he's probably more inclined to rotate at a home game than this one. So I think that starting 11 is pretty much what it might be. Actually, he might even go with Sanchez at right-sided centre back and give Romero one more game to get up to speed. That might happen. And I agree with the forward line. Kulusevski, Kane, Son. I think that'll happen. Basuma obviously comes in for Bentancur if Bentancur's concussed.
Sorry, Brad. Sorry.
So I think that it's one of those things, isn't it? You sort of think, well, he won't change it, then suddenly make 3 or 4 changes. But yeah, I think that the time for rotation is going to start now. I think he's forced into one rotation by bringing Basuma on, Bentancur, and I think on the right hand side of because Emerson's played every game. So I think he might make a change there because he did it the same with Sessegnon and Perisic. But yeah, we won't know until about 6:45 tomorrow, will we?
No. And we will be doing the watch along here. Myself and Elly, we will be like an Apollo 13 trying to talk to Houston if we can actually. I enjoyed that. That was so funny on Sunday, Elly. It was brilliant.
Well, I'm hoping I'll be on my second pint by that stage. So.
At least
Sonny loves a goal against West Ham, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does.
True. Yeah,
he does.
No, actually, to be fair, well, that's. Can you imagine a forward line? I'm not saying we could drop Kulusevski. A forward line of Richarlison, Kane, and Son would really piss off West Ham fans because they would hate every one of those players, wouldn't they?
I know. They would.
Just want to get this from Lisa. Big up, Lisa. It's a great comment. That's why I've started it. I get it up here again. Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa, for joining us again. Lovely to have you in the chat. She said, Sonny will come good.
Thank you, Lisa.
It's only been 3 games. I feel he's been a bit selfish in his playing, though. Perhaps a side effect of winning the Golden Boot. Just a thought. Look, for me personally, Son's been one of our best players over the last 2 to 3 years. And I think he has enough goodwill in the bank to, for the manager to keep starting him. It's up to Richarlison to prove to Conte in training, to prove to Conte when he comes on, that I deserve a start. I think he can play on the right side as well as the left side, so he can cover the whole front 3. So if we need to rest Cooley, we can rest, Decky and put Richarlison there. If we need to rest Kane, he can play up the middle. But I don't think dropping Son for the sake of dropping Son just because he's had a bad start to the season. It's like last season, everyone was shouting to drop Kane. you don't drop your best players. You let them play through through their bad form, or rotation will come into it. He may be dropped for the game on Fulham on Saturday, so who knows? But big up Lisa.
It also might be not so much dropping.
Yeah, big up Lisa.
Richarlison deserves his place. Deserves to start. You know, it might be that. So it's an interesting point about being selfish with the Golden Boot. Possibly, he might be being selfish because he wants to get out of the rut. Possibly. So I don't know, but he'll come good. He'll come good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ellie, what do you say to Carl Simpson here? I guarantee your son's dad has been in his ear saying time to leave Spurs.
He has got a laughter face after it.
Carl's stirring the pot now, isn't he? Carl's stirring the pot.
I was trying to see what Ellie's reaction was going to be. I was going to leave the laugh a bit.
Carl's cooking. He's stirring the pot, and he's made the steak, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There could be some truth in that, because it's just his dad wants better for his son, I suppose, and he probably sees Spurs as not winning anything in his son's tenure there as well, because he's been with us for is this his 7th season, Donny? He might be in his ear. You never know, because his dad is a hard man, and he would want the best for his son.
Yeah.
You can understand it. I can understand that during Nuno. But with Conte at the wheel now, and things looking a lot more, future looking a lot bright. But
I love.
Yeah, I think if we win something this year, he might be out of his ear.
Well, there's something that we haven't thought of. Conte's trying to marry him off to his daughter, isn't he? So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
maybe that's what's going on. It's playing on his side.
Yeah. I mean,
what I was going to say,
sorry, Ellie, go on.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say, if his dad does want him to leave, and Son is very loyal, I think he'll have a word with his dad back into his ear and say, look, Dad, we've got a fantastic squad now. We've got a fantastic world-beating manager who's done it at every club. So why would I leave now then when I've got my best chance of winning something?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Ellie, you're a former Spurs ladies player, a former professional footballer. Let's call a spade a spade. You were a player. Did you ever go through times in your career that you were in bad form? And how did your manager get you out of that mindset? And how easy would it be for Conte to get Sonny out of that mindset? And what did your manager do for you when you were running in bad form, when you were playing for ladies?
Yeah. The only time when I really was struggling is that after I broke my leg and I was in hospital and then I was off the game for 9 months, I found it very difficult to pick up the pace of a game. I had all the skill. It was just the pace of the game had moved on as well. And ladies' football was progressing very well as well. So I struggled with the injuries, but after a while, I got used to the pace. I was able to cope, because I think if you've got the skill and the technique, you'll always rely on that, know. But yeah, I can see where you're getting at. I just felt disappointed in myself that I couldn't run as fast and I couldn't do all the things I used to do before I broke my leg, but I catered for it. When I received the ball, I just used more skill to get round the player, whereas before I could rely on my pace to get away. Like Sonny does, he just steams ahead, doesn't he?
Yeah. Did the manager put an arm around your shoulder, or was it more a kick off the back? So I don't mean to be rude like that, but what did the manager do for you when you were going through that bad patch of confidence? Yeah,
they used to just say, look, you've had a bad injury, just get through it, play your games, do your training, keep fit, eat right, and everything can fall into place. And they used to put their hand around us because we were, it wasn't just that, it's because the ladies' football in my era, we used to get so much stick from the sidelines, so much abuse from parents, from anybody who's walking in the park watching us, and they always used to look after us mentally, you know. But I just found the way. I just found the way to use more skill to get round those players, and also I found the way of being more resourceful with the team, because you can't run as fast. So I used to pass it to the faster players and then try and catch up with them, because I was quite a little nippy player because I'm only 5'5", so I was quite quick. But when I lost a little, you only have to lose a yard, It's like Jan Vertonghen. You remember, he lost that yard. And that made a big difference, didn't it? We all noticed it.
I miss Toby and Jan. I really do. I wish there were, if we had a Toby and Jan with Romero.
They were class on legs.
Wow. Back three. Yeah. I just want to welcome a few more people in the chat. Terry White, big up, welcome. Terry. Super Tottenham, great to see you again.
Hello, Terry White.
Toxic Headshot, great to see you again, sir. Lovely to see you.
I love that name.
Ian Harper, how are you, Ian? Haven't seen you in the chat for a long while, my man. How are you keeping?
One.
And he says, Dan Scarlett scored for Portsmouth.
Dane Scarlett.
Crawley Town, but missed a penalty in the shootout. Nice. Team 165. That's 2 games in a row for Dan Scarlett now. He scored on Saturday as well. So
Dane Scarlett is a decent. He's very, very good player. He's a fantastic player. He's Brad, one for the future as well.
Yeah, he is. Brad, we've seen Tottenham, me and Elly seen Spurs through the years. We've seen players play good. We've seen players with low confidence. Conte seems, we've seen some when he comes off, he's angry and he's throwing stuff on the ground. Do you think that's a good sign to see him like that? Or does that worry you to see him being so emotional?
No, football's an emotional game. God, I get like that watching it, at home or at the ground or in the pub. It's how far you take that anger. Now, if he goes into the dressing room and takes it out on the players for no proper reason, well, then it's a problem. But when you saw Arteta, I think in the Arsenal documentary, go off at half time, that was it was ridiculous. It's like, hang on a minute, he didn't actually say anything constructive. He just basically swore at them for the whole half time. And so if you're angry, then you've got to channel that anger into putting things right, say at half time. I don't think so. Going back to Son, we see these footballers on our TV screens. We see our pop stars on our TV screens and our film stars. At the end of the day, they're all human beings. Son won the Golden Boot. He's adored like anything in South Korea. He's been on South Korean tour. There's a lot of pressure. When you're so successful and you're in the public eye, it's an awful lot of pressure. And sometimes it may get to you. So maybe it's probably all building up into that. So I think he'll come good. He'll come good. He's got the great thing that we can say is he's got a really wonderful support team around him. I've never seen a team spirit since the Poch years. And the club seems to be a club now, like it was during the Poch years. We're all in together, and it's and I think that's going to be really good. And he'll come good. He'll come good.
Just a quick thing on the club and the players being there. Did you hear the stories come out about Pogba, about his brother trying to get money out of him and all this? Does the club, Elly, you being in that sort of footballing world, and do the club really, Elly, for you, how much has it changed from when you were playing in the ladies' team until now? Did the club do more for you now, do more for the ladies and the men's team now than they used to back in the 70s and 80s? The 70s and 80s, if you didn't play well, they'd chuck you out of the team. And if you're having a bad time or you're suffering with your mental health, they'd just leave you. You look at Gaza, for example. There's a very big example. Yeah. And George Best is another example.
Yeah.
So do you find...
There's so much.
Do you find that the clubs now are looking more player welfare than when you were playing as a player?
Oh, definitely, because I just remember there was so much abuse hurled at us, and we never had no help. We used to go home, and sometimes I would cry myself asleep because of all the abuse, literally. But I got tougher because my mum was a tough old bird, and she said, "Look, you've got to take it because they're always going to shout it." And there was nothing done about it in those days. But now there's so much help that they've got psychologists, they've got people that look after your mental health, they've got sports scientists, they've got everything in place to help players, men and women, so it has moved on tremendously since I played. And also it's more professional in the ladies' game, especially, and you saw at the Euros, it was fantastic. The quality of the football, it was amazing, you see. And I think a lot of people would have been shocked at that who don't watch women's football. But I surely wasn't shocked because I watch a lot of ladies' football. And I watched the World Cup and I watch all the tournaments and the WSL. And there's some fantastic players, fantastic goals, and players abroad as well, in Italy, Spain, Germany, all the big countries. They're all fantastic. But even the littler countries, they're coming along as well. So, I just feel there's so much more. And the managers are in tune with it as well. They put an arm around the player and they take care of the player's welfare as well, which is lovely to see.
It is.
One of the positives that came out of lockdown was that thing about mental health, because we all went through it. No matter what you were doing, we all went through it, and so I agree. It's a lot more. What's the word? Nuance? No, it's a lot more into that side now on both physical and mental attitude and that sort of thing. And you're right, with all the sports scientists, they test them to the limit and see what they're up, what they how much fuel is in the tank, whatever, and they go on there. And it's and I imagine they would have psychologists on there with about if players have been abused and that sort of thing. So there's an awful lot of pressure on players any top footballer. I mean, if you, I know, I'm not sure. I know you probably aren't, Dermot. I don't know about you, Elly, but I'm a big cricket fan. They just recently released a documentary on Ben Stokes, one of the best players England have ever had, and he went through problems. He went out the game because he had all these issues. This is one of the players who was on this massive pedestal, won the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup for England, won that Ashes with one of the best things ever. And yet he went through all these issues. So it's a tough old world out there, and people say, "Oh, they got loads of money." No, it doesn't. I've got more money than I had 3 or 4 years ago, but it still means I still can get down every now and again. It's just people are human. So.
I mean, Corey boy, I've seen a couple of what you've been saying. We do understand what you're saying about rest and Sonny, but Elly, I mean, Corey boy is saying we need to rest Sonny. We need to do this. We need to do that with it. Do you feel that Conte knows if he rests Sonny, it might damage his confidence even more than it's more beneficial for him to play him?
He knows more than us. So if he does play him in the next game, then obviously he knows more about Sonny's psyche. Because we see him, how he comes on the pitch and he's smiling. He's not doing that anymore.
No.
Right? I've noticed that. Yeah, and I just think it's going to dent his confidence if we drop him. I think it will make him go even worse. Because he's gone from golden boot to being dropped on the bench for a player that really only scores 7 to 10 goals a season.
You know what?
He creates havoc on the pitch. But if I had the choice between Sonny and Richarlison, I know I'm going to pick Sonny.
Yeah.
You know what Alex Ferguson used to do, and I'm sure Conte is probably in the same vein. If he was taking a player out of the team, he'd tell him the next game he was going to play. He'd say, "Look, you're not going to play tomorrow. Say, for instance, you're not going to play tomorrow, and you're not going to play against Fulham, but you're going to play in the first Champions League game. So prepare yourself for that game." And that's what you used to do. So player, even though they were out the team, they knew when their next game was. So I imagine
Fergie was a master of that, wasn't he?
Yeah,
guys?
he
Like,
was.
He really was.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say big up to John Fitzpatrick, my Irish brother. How are you keeping? He's come. I mean, Corey, look, I suffer with mental health, and it's well known that I suffer with it as well. Look, we just have to see. I trust Conte. Whatever Conte does, I trust him, and we've got to trust him. He's the manager. He says it's on every day. We're right to have opinions, and everyone. We respect everyone's opinion on this channel. We always have, always will do. But I would rather trust Conte on his decision. Elly, that's why I was asking Elly. Elly's a former professional footballer, so it was great to get the insight into what it could be like. But look, guys, we're going on a bit now onto Conte's press conference. And he was asked a load of different questions, from the match to the transfer policy, even to the World Cup, believe it or not. So we're going on. And the first question he asked was, is Romero and Oliver Skip available? He said about Romero and Skip, they did training session with us for sure. We have to wait to tell that if they're completely covered. I'll start with you, Elly, then I go to you, Brad. What would you do tomorrow with Romero? Now, we all know Romero wants to play every minute of every game for Tottenham.
He
Even
does.
when he was injured, he wanted to come back in. And he had to be restrained in the doctor's chair to stop him playing. I mean, tonight, Romero's some dark room with the West Ham badge in front of him. Do you think we should
He's
start
probably having some Argentinian steak somewhere?
Or do you think they'll put him on the bench and then bring him on say, later in the game?
No. Well, depending on his fitness, but if he's made himself available, well, he makes himself available for every game, doesn't he? Even if he's injured. But I think Conte will know.
Yeah.
Conte will not take a risk if he's not 100% fit. So they'll put him through They would have put him through his motions already, wouldn't they, to see if he can cope with a 90-minute match. But I think even if he does 70 minutes or 80 minutes, that's good enough for me, because we need him. Because West Ham are a very tricky team. They haven't had the results this season so far, but they'll be up for it against us. And we need our best defender there, because he's sure our best defender by a long chalk. And I don't know about Longley, why he isn't playing. Is he got an injury? Is he not up to scratch?
For what I know,
I want to see a bit of him as well.
Yeah, for what I know about Longley, I think Conte's trying to get him up to speed within the group, like he's doing with all the new signings. And then he was asked about Lucas Moura and Brian Gill. He said Lucas has an inflammation of his tendon. I hope he recovers very, very soon. Very soon, because for sure, when I was a player, I had a lot of pain in my tendon. And you know very well, tendon inflammation doesn't finish in only 1 week, 2 weeks. I hope to have him early with us. Gill is still not available, but in 2 or 3 days, he will start to work and recover. So that sort of questions about Gill. Is he going on loan? Is he going to stay with us? So that sort of answers.
He's still at the club then, isn't he?
Yeah. So then we went on to the World Cup. Now I'll give this bit to you, one Brad, and then the next one, Elly. I'll go back to you on another set of the press conference. How will you rotate the team? He was asked, like, central for the World Cup. For sure, he said, if you have to play one game every 6 days, every 7 days, or one game a week from now, I'm trying to start with the old players, because they give me more reality. With the new players that we start to work with them only 1 month and a half. It's the reason I think in the end my choice was good, as we've got four good results. Now it's normal when you have to play one game every 3 days. It's normal to make some rotation. The players have to be intelligent to understand sometimes to go on the bench, to come in. Sorry, this is long-winded. For sure, this moment, and in this moment, this is the period the club can understand if we are really complete in the squad, or maybe we'll do better for sure compared to last season. So the question for you, Brad, and that is, he looks like he's going to rely on the older players. that got us into the Champions League and bring the other new players in. Does that mean that he's going to rely on like Son and Kane and Dyer and Davis and bring the others in gradually?
Yeah, I think certainly whilst we're playing one game a week, which we have been up until now, yeah, that'll be the case because he's using more or less the same 11 players that got us into the Champions League, that finished the season so well, that know how to play his system, that play with each other. And I always come down to muscle memory, or like a mental version of muscle memory, that you know where you're supposed to be instinctively. You don't think, hang on a minute, he's got the ball, where should I be? You do it without even thinking. Like driving a car, like playing guitar. That's what you have to do. It's have to be in there. So I think that's why he's gone with more or less the same 11 that got us where we've got. And that was always going to happen for the first games of this season when there's only one game every 7 days. Now he's forced into a situation where, and he's more or less said it in the answer, that he has to make rotation now. He has to make, and that was the whole idea behind getting in 6 or 7 players during the transfer window before the season started. Now, have they had enough time to integrate in the team? I don't know. They haven't played a lot of football or had their 20 minutes here and there. But now is going to be the situation where they're going to be forced into it. I have a feeling, going back to Clement Longley, I think he might play in the Champions League game. I think that might be his first start. As for the team tomorrow, I think there might be a few changes, but I think you'll still keep with the same forward line. And then you'll start to see rotation. So I perfectly understand why he's gone with the same 11. But now he's more or less forced in the position, as are all other clubs. Don't forget, not only Tottenham, other clubs that are in Champions League and whatever. Now they need to rotate, and that's what your teams like your Man Cities and your Liverpools, and even when Alex Ferguson was at Man United, they were always rotating the teams. You always have a game where so-and-so's not playing. That's modern football. It's all about a squad now. It's not about who's your best first 11. It's about having a squad. Any 11 players that you can put out there will be competitive.
Yeah, there will be. Elly, Danny was asked about Tottenham's transfer news, your favourite subject, so that's why I left this whole section to you.
Yeah.
He was asked, will you make any more signings for the deadline? And this is his response. I spoke with the club, I spoke with Paratici, with Daniel Levy. I said to them my opinion, but as you know very well, the most important thing is for the club to know my opinion. If we do something or not, it's okay. Does that seem he seems to be happy, Elly, with what we've done so far? Or is there a message in there that we're not spot on?
Having spoken to them, and then he comes out with my opinion, if we do something or not, it's okay. It seems like he's resigned to what the club is saying to him. That's what that comes across as. But I don't think he's totally happy, because he's not over the moon about it. He's saying it's just okay, He's accepted it, maybe. I don't know. I just feel...
Yeah, I think it's more along the lines of he's happy that we've bought players in. He probably would want a couple more, but he's okay if we don't get those 2 more players. That's how I read that. The other thing, we also, don't forget, he's an Italian speaking English as his second language. So he might come out.
He doesn't always put it across that well.
Yeah, exactly.
We're lost in translation.
Yeah, and in the past, I've always felt that there's always been everything he says. I think he's very calculated in what he says. You don't see the press conferences. He takes 3 answers, doesn't he?
It's double-ended, isn't it, Brad?
Yeah. And I think he said a lot of things in the past that were like, behind you look behind the statement, it's saying something. That's similar to what he has been saying, that, they know my opinion, we need to do it, but I just wonder whether I get the impression he's happy, and that the people that we all follow, the journalists that we all follow, Alistair Goals or anyone that might be in there that are involved in the club, or certainly closer to than Bill down the pub tweeting, I think that, he seems to be happy. I think Mourinho said it, didn't he? Every manager wants more players, but sometimes he do it. So
I just think if there's anything we need to do with send Elly into the club, and she'll ruffle a few feathers in there.
I also want to say, because he's been to see Levy. He's told him that he wants more. They've had discussions, and now he's saying it's okay if they don't give me what I want. But he still wants it. You know he wants it.
But Elly, you got to look at maybe
happy,
he's thinking of January as well.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm thinking I'm reading more into it now. I'm thinking he's gone to them. He said that he needs more. The club have probably told him there might not be more, but that's okay because he's quite happy with what he's got already, and he can work with it.
Do you think, Elly, with him saying, I've talked to the club, I've talked to Paratici, I've talked to Levy, they know how I feel, they said they're working on it, and maybe he's been shown, or he's been given some assurances, or he's been shown what they're doing, and he seems to be, okay, I'm okay with it. I'm okay for what we're doing. But don't bring somebody in now. We can in January. I know what our plan is. Or do you think do you think it's a sign that he's unhappy?
No, I don't think he's unhappy. I just think he's in that middle ground. You know, he's not there and he's not there. He's in the middle. And he wants the club to meet him more where he wants to be.
Yeah.
But they're saying, look, you've got to stay in the middle for now, and we might go there later on for you. I just feel there's something missing on his side. I still think there's something missing.
I think from my own opinion on it, I think really into that, I think when Paratici came in, Hitchin made such a mess of our transfer policy and our scouting network, it was always going to take time to rebuild that. And I think Conte hasn't bring out any noises. I think he knows what we're doing. And I think he said before he's got a good squad there.
Yeah.
So I think look, we will never know. But if he's happy, I'm happy. And that's sort of how I feel about this all. Denny was asked earlier about Harry Kane, about signing a new contract.
Yeah.
And this is what he had to say. Yeah. He says, I have to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know about this situation. I don't know the details. Honestly. He likes honestly a lot, I have to say. You know, he likes saying that word. You know, we are talking
about an important player
for Tottenham.
Yeah. So
and hang on, there's more.
I'll read that the club are dealing with it.
There's a bit more. And the desire of everybody into the club is for Kane to continue to stay to Tottenham, to sign a new contract. But if you ask me about details, about the information, I cannot answer you. Look, do you think the club are going to put it off?
Yeah, I know what that means.
No, I don't. Elly, do you think the club will put this off after the World Cup? Maybe Kane has said, look, I've got 2 years left in my deal. Let's talk in January. He's got to concentrate on the World Cup as well. So do you think they're believing it to after them, Elly?
Yeah. I'm thinking the club are negotiating it, and Conte's got nothing to do with it. Because he's basically saying, I don't know any details, I don't know any information. Yeah. So the club are dealing with it. So that'll be Levy. Levy's talking to Kane. What money do you want, boy? What can we do to keep you here?
I tend to agree. Yeah, I tend to agree with Dermot. I think they're going to wait until January. I think he's the England captain, and the World Cup is very, very important for Harry Kane. For everyone, and I think that, and I think what Conte's saying there is that Conte wants him, the club want him, and probably Kane wants to stay. So it's just a question. And as you say, Elly, defined details is probably what he doesn't know about, which is fair enough.
Yeah, he doesn't know the fine details. Yeah, I get your point about that. But I also wanted to say that maybe even Kane hasn't made his mind up yet.
No, I don't think that, Elly. He seems really happy now with Conte.
You think he wants to stay?
Well, there's nowhere for him.
Obviously,
really,
but
it's been horrible.
It doesn't take much to turn ahead.
Well,
because he wanted to go to Manchester City before.
And they got Haaland now, so there's no place for him to go.
It depends. It all depends as well how we're doing right up until the World Cup.
And this is where the January
window. He's
window
got ambitions, the boy.
Yeah. this is where the January window becomes really important if we're doing well. If we're doing well going into the break, and it needs those. And I always remember back, I forget, it might have been when Harry Redknapp was in charge, where I think we might have been second or third during the January window. Yeah. And I think we were linked with Tevez, and we got Sahar on a free. And we were linked with, I can't remember, it was probably that Chelsea defender.
From Everton, isn't it?
Yeah, and we ended up getting some Nelson, some New Zealand player on a free.
Yeah,
and that for me
Nelson.
says it all. It's like, well, that's
my God,
there's your ambition.
The worst signing in our history.
Yeah, so if in January we're there or thereabouts,
next to Aurier,
there or thereabouts, and players are available that can give us an extra push, that's when I think that's the important transfer. That's when we'll know whether this club are backing him.
Yeah, big up, Mark Cousins, one of the boys here. It says, "What have I missed? Conte's resigned, Mark." Not really. For the whole Spurs community goes into meltdown. We have lost Elly. Elly will be back in a minute. She's doing the ghost. Danny was asked about Richie, and this is very long-winded. So I will take bits and pieces.
Do an Italian accent, and he starts every sentence with "for sure." For sure. Richie
would be very nice with pizza, the pepperoni, and a bit of garlic bread. Now he says, "I think about Richie. We're really happy. We're talking about a player who can help us a lot in this season. We are talking about a player who's really good addition, especially up front." He also went on to say, "I think in the past Tottenham didn't have a player of this level behind Harry, behind Son. Now we have a really good player. He's in the best moment of his career to stay in Tottenham, to show his talent. He has a big talent for sure. He can help us a lot in this season, and now every time he is playing." And then he was asked about will he start against Chelsea. 20, 30, 40 minutes. He is playing very well for sure. In the next games, you will see him in the starting 11. Yeah. And then somebody asked him after that, will he start against West Ham? And the response he gave, I think, is brilliant. He went, "No, I didn't say this. I said probably in the future you can see in the starting 11 Richarlison if the game is against West Ham, Fulham or Marseille, then I have to." Brad, I mean, it boils back to Son, doesn't it? Does he start Son? Does he start over Cooley? Who would you rest first out of the front three? Who would be the first player you think deserves a break?
Son, for only the reason that he's been playing an awful lot of football lately. He played all those games for South Korea. He played all throughout that pre-season. I think it'll come down to this is I think the beauty of Richarlison. He can come in for either one of the front three really, and you're not really weakening it that much. Going back to what we were saying about world-class players, that you don't drop them, we don't rotate them, that might indicate a few things. But is Richarlison probably less of a replacement for Kulusevski than he is for Kane or Son, the way he plays? I don't know, it's difficult to say. I think I would hazard a guess and say Fulham. He'll come on against Fulham, possibly for Son, because I think the first game in the Champions League is going to be an important game for Tottenham. We're at home, and Conte's not got a brilliant record in the Champions League, so he'll be wanting to make a something of that. So I'd imagine that he'll play what he classes his strongest 11 against Marseille, isn't it? I think. Marseille, they're third in the league in the La Liga.
Yeah, they are in I forget what you call the French league, but they're starting very well actually.
Ligue 1. So they're no mugs. So I think that's what we might see with rotation. That he'll. I think you'll see rotate. And again, going back to what I said before, which I'm probably contradicting myself now. I think he might play Longley in that Champions League game because it's a European game, and Longley's got that. Well, to be fair, Davis has got experience as well, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how he does it. Be really, really interesting.
I mean, look, you look. Just got a quick there from Elly. Sorry, General Dermot. Battery died. I'm coming back into the mothership. Yeah, quick before you leave. You're on this planet. We need to get back to planet Tottenham. I mean, Brad, we've seen some great players down the years, some great teams down the year. We've seen like Hoddle and Waddle and Gaza, and we've seen these great teams. We've never really had great managers apart from Bill Nick and Keith Birkinshaw. Do you feel, even from the Poch era, that this is the first time that we have a manager that's come in that we can actually build a house around?
Hopefully. Hopefully. I mean, I know he's got this reputation of not staying very long at clubs, but yeah, hopefully we can get some sort of a dynasty there that he'll be at the club. And he has been talking about, the rebuild will take 2 or 3 windows, so that takes us into next season. So yeah, I'm hoping he'll be there. And if Spurs, I think he'll be reasonably happy with his backing in the transfer window. So if that continues, and that's why I've said things like January is going to be important, then yeah, I think that hopefully we will be able to build something. I actually feel really sorry for Pochettino because I think, but for a bit of luck, we would have won trophies under Pochettino. We lost so many semi-finals, so many finals. And, I remember that semi-final against Chelsea, we lost 4-2. I think we outplayed them, and yet they scored 2 wonder goals. Matic, I think it was Matic who hadn't scored a goal all season, hits this shot from 50 yards and it goes in. So, then we had a very dodgy penalty decision, in the Champions League.
Drogba.
Yeah, so yeah, I do feel sorry for Pochettino. And I think Pochettino, if he'd have had a bit of luck, we would have won stuff, and he probably would still be there today. And again, on top of that, the backing that he never got when he said about the painful rebuild that they never backed him on. So if he'd have had a bit of luck, and we'd have won something and they'd have backed him when he wanted to be backed, then I think Pochettino would still be there today. But that's in the past now. That's in the past. It's gone. We've got one of the best managers in world football now, and that's what we've got to be aiming for the future. So keep Conte happy, keep him at the club, because if we keep him at the club and back him, we're going to be winning things. I'm sure we are.
I do have a game in the background. Shall I put it on, Elly? Elly's gone again. There, she's back. Shall I put the game on, Elly?
Yeah, put the game on.
All right, we'll put it on here now.
Whenever I have old games, I have to see what the score is, so I know if I'm going to watch it or not.
We're going back to the 70s here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I remember that. That's Trevor Brooking, I think. Is that Trevor Brooking? There's Johnny Pratt. Alan Gilzean.
This is
Martin Chivers, Pat Jennings, Terry Naylor.
Yeah. Can I just say, I just want to
Mike
give a
England.
big shout out to Simon at Duck Jive, who has allowed us to use these games.
Brilliant. Well done, Simon.
So please get over to his channel, Duck Jive 1. He's got loads of stuff over there, also loads of Tottenham games. It's just something we're trying to do now for pre-match shows that we're going to show.
I love that kit. I love that kit. That's just so classy, that kit.
Oh, it's a beautiful kit.
Martin Chivers. I met Martin Chivers once. He thinks
Martin Chivers,
yeah. He's one of the best strikers. One of the best strikers in Europe at the time. But he did actually really love himself. I spoke to him at a charity game. I said, "Oh, you're one of my favourite players. You're really good." He goes, "Yes, I was rather good, wasn't I?"
Billy Bonds, Taylor, Moore, McGibbon, Haddon.
I think this would have
been the season. This would have been the first season I left for Australia in 1973.
What was this about? Is this 1973?
73-74 season. So this would have been
74-75 season.
Yeah.
This is when we got to the UEFA Cup final. Because my
the
last
referee looks like a vicar.
Yeah.
My last Tottenham game was, I think, against some Russian team, Victoria Stubel or something. We won 5-1. But,
we decided to go back.
I like what Mark said. Are we going to lose again whenever you choose the game, Dermot?
Right. Carl Simpson, big up Carly, says Fabrizio has just said Tottenham Hotspur are now preparing to offer Harry Kane a new and improved deal to extend his stay in North London. Well, there you go. If it comes from Fabrizio Romero's lips, then that's brilliant.
But I think that'll probably after the transfer window as well. They'll probably sort that out. But if they don't do it in January, like we were saying, if they do it before the World Cup, it'll be after the window. Well, actually, there's a bit of grass on the pitch as well. That's unusual in those days.
Got Billy Bonds.
Oh,
he was a decent player, that Billy Bonds. A very good player.
Was he assistant
Terry
to Harry
Naylor.
Well, don't forget, West Ham won the World Cup in 90.
I think so. Yeah. That was Phil Bill. Phil Bill was a tremendous player.
I'm actually very sorry.
I
loved Phil Bill.
Phil Bill. Yeah, I did as well.
He was tremendous.
My other laptop just died.
Oh.
I forgot to charge it. Sorry.
You're going. You're doing a goat. You're doing an Elly.
Yeah. Anyone that's interested in old football, try and get a copy of Hunter Davis, The Glory Game. It's absolutely brilliant book.
I've got that.
Have you? Yeah, it's a wonderful book. Anyone in
the chat?
My
brother gave it to me.
Yeah, anyone in the chat that wasn't there.
I've got another one.
Really good.
I've got another one by Hunter Davis, but I can't. I think it's called The Glory something. But I've lost the front cover, and I've just got. I've lost the front cover. I don't know where it went. I think it's called The Glory Days. I think.
All right, the Glory Game has got
the Glory Game.
Yeah, 71, 72 when we won the UEFA Cup, wasn't it?
That's it. The Glory Game. That's what it's called.
Yeah, excellent.
I've got that one.
Yeah.
Elly, West Ham tomorrow. We're doing the watch along here live on Thfc to allow Dyke. Me and Elly will be doing that. What's your score prediction for tomorrow, and where do you think Son will start or on the bench?
I think Son will start, and I think we'll win 3 or 4-2.
Okay.
I'm going to go for 4-2. 2-4.
And according to Carl again, he said, according to Turkish publications, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
I know how to say that. It's Takvim Galatasaray.
Right. Are attempting to sign Tottenham winner Lucas Moura before the transfer window slams shut on Thursday. What do you say to that, guys? I'll start with you first, Brad.
Well, they can attempt to, but I don't think they'll get him. I think Lucas Moura is a very big part of this Tottenham squad. I think Conte likes him. And Lucas Moura obviously loves the club, so they can try what they like. But I don't think, I don't think so. Yes, Andrew, I have seen that film years and years ago.
And big up, Wilton. It's great to see you. And you, Brad, West Ham tomorrow? Are you going?
No, I'm not actually. If it had been on the weekend, I would have tried to have got tickets, but it's a bit awkward to get to Stratford. Before the season started, I was on a stream and we were predicting the first 5 games of the season. And I said, I want to win all our home games. I want to win at Forest. I'll be happy with a point at Chelsea. And at that time, I said, I'll be happy with a point at West Ham. I think, to me, that's the minimum for our start to the season to be in a good position, a good platform for the rest of the season. So I think we can win tomorrow, but West Ham will be a different kettle of fish to the team that have started poorly this season.
Yeah,
it's their cup final after all. So I think we can win tomorrow, but I'm not going to be heartbroken if we get a point there because we lost there, which, Conte's begun about us getting better, scores than we got same team last season. A point tomorrow is better than what happened last season. So I think we can win, but I won't be too depressed if we come away with a point.
Yeah. For me, I'm going for a 3-0 win. I think we're going to batter them. We're going to nick their jelly deals. We're going to nick all their bubbles. We're going to take 3 points and run all the way back to North London with them all. Elly, you're muted.
Sorry. No, I said we're going to nick their bubbles as well.
Yeah.
Or burst their bubble.
Carl says, I want to batter.
Do you know they call us Greeks bubble and squeak, don't they?
Do they? Oh, that was a rhyming slang, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, bubble and squeak. Yeah.
So when they say I'm forever blowing bubbles, that's basically I'm forever blowing Greeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to smash the hammers, he says,
I'm going to
all
blow
over that
them off.
Tappy Stadium. We will. Well, listen, thank you for joining us tonight. We really hope you enjoyed the show.
That sounded rude.
Yeah. You really, yeah. No.
Sorry, Dermot. I'll behave myself.
No, you're grand. Wouldn't change you. Wouldn't change you for the world. Stay the way you are. Listen, thanks for joining us tonight. Really had a blast with the show. Brad, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Please tell everyone where they can find you, sir.
Well, I've got a music channel out, which is, well, when I say music channel, it's basically me singing my own songs and playing guitar or trying to. It's Blue Sofa Songs on YouTube or B Sofa Songs at B Sofa Songs on Twitter. I'm trying to get a song up every Friday at 5 o'clock. So tomorrow I'm probably recording a new song. And yeah, the idea is to improve as much as I can and be a better songwriter. I love my football. I also love my music, so that's why I'm doing that. So please do click like and subscribe. And as I say to everyone, if you do watch it, if you do click on a song, and if you love it, great. If you're thinking, oh, it's not really for me, let the song play out. Go to the kitchen, make a cup of tea, let the song play out because that helps with all the algorithms and that sort of thing. But please click like and subscribe, and please click like and subscribe to these brilliant people as well. It's great. I really would. I would love it if managers or footballers could actually watch some of these streams. I really would. That would be actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I've been sharing it to Richarlison. I've been sharing it on Twitter to Richarlison when I've been tagging them in and tagging Harry Kane in and everything. So, and Elly, we're back tomorrow night, aren't we?
I love what Carl's saying in the chat. Did you see what Carl said? Brad, have you done that remix of Right Said Fred, I'm too sexy for my shirt?
That'll be live on the watch long tomorrow night. Brad will be singing his new hit single, Spurs Are Forever Bashing Bubbles.
One day in a year's time, maybe I might do a live stream.
Blowing bubbles, smashing them at the air. They don't fly high.
See, I've got to work with Brad. You
they
say
need
one thing,
to cry.
She's singing next to me. I mean,
I'm making up a song. They don't fly high. They need to cry because we're gonna batter them. West Ham always running.
Oh Lord!
Oh my God! I love
Elly,
singing. I do.
I know you do. Maybe. Elly, what have we got coming up? We've got the watch along tomorrow, haven't we? And we've got a special show.
Yeah, we've got the watch along.
We've got a special show
and
on
then
the 5th
I'm
of
going to
September.
Yeah, 5th of September. We've got the 140th anniversary. And then on Saturday, I'll be at the Fulham game interviewing fans. So hopefully, if Carl and anybody else in the chat is there, come over to me. I'm going to be outside the Le Royal Banqueting Suite interviewing fans there.
It will be shown live during.
If you want to get on camera with me, please join me.
And it will be shown live on this watch. We're doing the watch on Saturday.
I would say 11 o'clock would be the best time. 11 o'clock.
Probably just leaving my house then. So.
But this is.
But I'll be there. I'll be there till 1 or 2 o'clock before I go in.
All right.
I'll be there for a couple of hours. So if you can, Brad, come over and I'll interview you.
Yeah, well, this is a new thing we're bringing into the watch-alongs. When Elly's at the game, Elly's going to be interviewing fans, and we're going to do it live on the watch-along before games. We'll get Elly
and at half-time, Brad. Yeah, I was going to say at half-time, meet me at the bar. We'll get a match report from you on half-time.
Half-time, I normally rush into the loo, so...
I'll have to follow you in the loo then, won't I? With my camera.
Elly.
Don't tell my husband.
Well, it's all over YouTube now.
Oh, well.
What we're going to do. Look,
I just want to end... divorce in Enfield, you know who's doing it.
I just want to show this picture before we end off. Sorry, Brad's going to cover your face, so I do apologise. That's a lovely picture, isn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
There is the man. There is Godfather.
Mr. Tottenham.
Bill
Well,
Nicholson.
listen, thank you for everyone.
We bow
who's,
to you, Bill.
You can do a match report from anywhere, Brad. And Wilton McDonald says, gross by name, gross by nature. Parker says, oh, lovely photo. Elly's gone again. Well,
There
listen,
used to be a
on.
Spurs fan that I every now and again I'd meet him on the train, and he was from Scarborough, and he was he was from Yorkshire, this big Yorkshire accent. I said, "Why do you follow Spurs?" And he said, "Because Bill Nicholson's from Scarborough, and that's where I'm from as well." So yeah. But no, he was.
Wasn't Eddie Bailey from around that area too?
I don't know. I know Eddie Bailey was more. He was the second in command, wasn't he? I think assistant manager. Want to go used to come out the trenches over the top guys sort of thing type coach.
I mean, I showed this picture the other night here, Brad, and it's a brilliant picture, isn't it? Really, can you spot any players in there you might recognise?
Well, obviously Bill Nicholson. Is he talking to Danny Blanchflower?
I think he is.
And then looking at the back, is that Jimmy Greaves in the back there?
Yes, Jimmy Greaves in the back there.
So that'll make it about 1962, wouldn't it? Which unbelievably was before my time. But I mean, obviously my dad told me about that team, and I've read so many books on that era, and that's what we need to get back to now. We need to get back to that.
We really do. Well, listen, thanks for everyone who's joined in tonight, and please later tonight, I think at 12:30 our time, whatever it is in America, our sister channel will be on Mile High Hotspur with the great Leo and Parker. Please, everyone get over there and show your support to them, lads. They are our sister channel. They're on tonight and they do a brilliant job over there. Well, Brad, thank you so much for coming on tonight. The ghost has disappeared again, so we're back tomorrow with the watch along, and then I think we're back then with the transfer deadline show. We're starting at 4:30, and we're going to go all the way into 11 o'clock, and we will be doing the post match show of the West Ham game tomorrow as well. Thank you very much, JC, and thank you very much, Andrew Gregory. Look, it's been a pleasure. Brad, if you want to pop in on Thursday transfer deadline show during the evening, you're more than welcome. I
think I normally do the Hotspur Hood on Thursday, but I'll see what's going on.
Yeah, and it popped on anyway. God bless you all. Tomorrow night we're going to smash some hammers. We're going to nick the jelly deals. We're going to take their bubbles, and we're going to take 3 points back to White Hart Lane in Conte we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.